So I've gone ahead and made a few samples of different kind of colored pencils on some different kinds of papers that people commonly use for their coloring pages when they download pictures like the fairy robot pictures. The first one here is the Nina Exact Vellum Bristol. It's a 67-pound paper, and I've done different types of colored pencils. This first flower here is Prismacolor. This paper has a little bit of a texture, and you can see how you can actually see pencil marks using the pencil color or the Prismacolor pencils. The next one is Luminance by Caran d'Ache. Looks very similar, maybe a little richer in the colors. Then Polychromos, which is a harder pointed pencil, harder lead. It's an oil base versus the wax base that these two are, and it shows up a little bit lighter. And then the next one is Derwent Lightfast. I really like how some of the colors really show up here, but I really don't have a large selection, so the greens, I couldn't really match the greens exactly. However, this looks pretty good. And then last but not least is Caran d'Ache Pablo, which is another wax-based colored pencil. And I would say it is Caran d'Ache's version of Prismacolor, but better leads, a little bit sharper point. They hold their point longer, and they are light fast, quite a bit more than the Prismacolor Premiers are. So this first one is, like I said, on the Nina Exact Vellum Bristol 67-pound paper. The next page is the Nina Cardstock 90-pound, and this one doesn't have as much tooth as the other paper. It's a little bit smoother, so you can see how the lines are a little bit softer. You can see the pencil strokes, but they don't really stand out quite as much. And remember, my personal style is I have a very light touch when I do my illustrations for the books, and also when I'm coloring, I use a light touch because I'll put 9 layers on top of each other, and I don't really want to push hard like you can with some of these pencils. So you can see the difference here. The colors typically seem a little bit lighter because of the type of paper. It's not grabbing as much pigment from the pencils, but they still look pretty good. It's a different look, and if that's something you strive to, then this paper will actually help you achieve that. And then last but not least is Spring Hill White cardstock. It's a vellum Bristol. Also, it's a 67-pound. It's got a pretty decent tooth on it, and you can see it really does show pencil strokes, which I really like. I'm not really one to blend and smooth all that out. I like to actually leave the strokes on there because I use the strokes to actually help guide your eye across the picture. So they're pointing things. So you can even see here, even on these different flowers, they all are pointing up into an area right in here. So you can use that to draw your eye to different things. So once again, there's the Prismacolor here. It looks really good. The Caran d'Ache Luminance looks pretty good also. These are, like I said, both of these are wax base. Polychromos is an oil base. It looks pretty decent there as well. Derwent Lightfast is oil based also. And then back to the Caran d'Ache Pablos, which is a wax base, but it's the closest wax base I've seen to being an oil base. And so it's kind of a little bit of the best of both worlds. Pencils are wonderful to use. They're nice and buttery when they go down. They've got great coverage, and you can layer them up pretty good. So once again, I hope these little samples here will help you determine what kind of paper that you might want to use on your inkjet or laser printer when you download the Fairy Robot pictures to color. And of course, I think you can also use, depending on your printer, different types of actual art papers. I would go with a hot press paper versus cold press, which is typical waterpress or watercolor paper, because of all the ridges and valleys. It's hard to get good coverage with that. And also these All three of these papers I bought in packs of 250 sheets from Amazon, and very inexpensive. So that's a lot of downloaded coloring pages for very little money. I hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.